What is up, YouTube? I'm back again with another video. So today I'm showing you guys my Dawn of the Dead 1978 SWAT team member costume. This is similar, very similar to what the SWAT team wore on the 1978 Dawn of the Dead, George A. Romero's sequel to Night of the Living Dead, and which is debatably like one of the best sequels in Hollywood of all time. But so starting from the top, and the SWAT guys are pretty much the first people that you see in the movie, which made the whole scene very iconic and showed just how much like the whole system was crashing, how things were really falling apart. But so at the top, the SWAT team members wore the U.S. Navy cap utility. These are easily identified by the three seams in the rather large bill. Very basic inside. These were worn by the U.S. Navy in the early 50s throughout the early 60s. Nowadays, these are very hard to find. This one is unissued from the 60s, and I paid over $100 for it, so it is very hard to find these things. That's what the SWAT team members wore as a cap. For the iconic gas masks, they wore the United States Navy diaphragm, which is this Mark IV gas mask. Very similar one is the Mark III that has very narrow circular eye lenses versus the triangle. Basically, the canister or the filter sits on the back of your neck, and then the mask obviously sits on your face. Now, for you other movie enthusiasts, I do want to warn you guys that these gas masks, or the filters specifically, do contain asbestos. More specifically, blue asbestos, which is a little bit more on the danger side. Now, this one was unissued. I opened it from its original packaging from the 1940s. I believe this gas mask is dated 1943, and the filter is intact, and therefore the asbestos is still contained where it needs to be. I will put this on, but do note that you would want to limit long-term exposure to this. Short bursts of wearing it just for like this video is fine, but if you're wearing this as a Halloween costume, maybe you don't want to wear the mask, or maybe you want to detach the filter from the mask. Basically, how the SWAT members wore them is they put them over their head like so. And some of them wore the hat under the mask. I chose not to, and this is how it looks. Their mock-up National Guard also wore these. That's not what the National Guard would have worn at the time. And then some, they would, during the opening scene, they would put the masks up like this, and they would aim with their rifles like so. Outside of the barrack, or not the project scene, these gas masks never appeared again in the movie. However, they were very iconic for the SWAT team. Next, they did in fact wear bulletproof vests. This one is a real bulletproof vest. This is just a cheap expired vest from the 90s. I think this is second chance, and if you know anything about body armor, this is terribly sized for me. It needs to be way bigger, but again, this is just for the costume and not actual protection. Personally, I think it looks better without the bulletproof vest, but if you want to get screen accurate, then they did have them. This one was marked blood type O negative. I'm O positive, so I just turned the negative into a positive. So I'll take that off for the rest of the video. Then you could see my web belt. They wore the pistol belt, the M36 pistol belt, 2 canvas 1911 ammo pouches, the Air Force M15 security police holster, This one's a left-handed because Roger was left-handed, and Roger is my favorite character, so that's what I'm portraying. They also did wear the Jungle First Aid Kit dyed navy blue. This one is just a reproduction pouch with modern contents in the pouch itself. Then they also wore World War II canteen covers, or a canteen set with the cup and the canteen, 1 quart. Peter carried a black Anglehead military flashlight. This is one of those fluton ones, as well as other SWAT members carried some too. As far as my knowledge goes, Roger never carried one. So I'll pull the pistol belt off. You can kind of see everything. In this holster, I am carrying my Smith & Wesson 38 Special Victory model. This is very similar to the ones that they carried in the movie. In the movie, they actually carried 22 long rifle revolvers. Then, they wore navy blue M1 Garand cartridge belts. Now again, this is a movie, so for the weapons that they carried, this would be very impractical way to carry ammo. The rifle that the SWAT team used is the AP-74 22 long rifle, and that's exactly what this is. So this is the same model of rifle that was used in the movie. Now, of course, in the movie, they use these as fully functioning M16s. Of course, that's just Hollywood land. These are really, like I said, just 22 long rifle. The 20-round magazine is actually casted into the gun itself, and you could see where you would load the 22 magazine. It is very nice to be able to find one of these things. This thing costed me, I want to say $360 at a gun show. If you can pick one up, I strongly suggest you do. Not only as a Dawn of the Dead fan, but it is also a fun rifle to shoot. So you could kind of see why it would be very impractical for what the pouches that they wore. But again, that's just the movie. The base is Dickies coveralls. I believe that they did wear Dickies coveralls in the movie. My extensive research has shown that they did have a pin pocket or a tire pressure gauge holder. They did have this tool loop on their hip. Spoiler alert, when Roger gets bitten, well, actually that was in the trailer, so I guess it really wouldn't be that big of a spoiler, but right before he does, a zombie goes to bite his thigh, and with the butt of his rifle, he hits it in the head, and it zooms in on his thigh, and you can kind of see this. Also later on, when they're getting ready, you can see over Roger's left hip that the left pocket is zippered, while the right hip pocket is not. These are things that I noticed that match the Dickies coveralls, and these are modern set. Of course, the zippers are a little bit different than the ones in the movie. However, their snaps were silver in the movie, and their zippers were brass, just like on the modern Dickies ones. This is what leads me to believe is that they did wear Dickies for the movie. And then as for footwear, you can see I'm wearing Corcoran Jump boots. They did wear these in the movie. The majority of the SWAT team members did wear them, except in the movie they were tucked in. I would suggest getting boot blousers. In case if you don't know how these work, basically it's like an elastic strap. Put it around your boot like so. And the way that I personally like to do it is from a kneeling position. And you just tuck in your excess fabric on your pant. And there you have it. Looks very nice, uniform, and military-like. It's a lot more comfortable doing it this way than tucking them into the boot. That's just how they wore them in the movie, though. So I want to go over the specifics, and I have them saved right here on my phone. So to reiterate everything, the uniform, the top was a U.S. Navy cap utility. They wore navy blue mock turtleneck. This is Rothko's modern mock turtleneck, and it matches the movies very nicely. And it's extremely cheap. Navy blue coveralls, Dickies, and the Corcoran jump boots. Their gear, starting from the top down to bottom, U.S. Navy Mark IV gas mask, one M1923 M1 pistol belt, one M1910 canteen set, two canvas 1911 ammo pouches, one Air Force M15 holster, one M2 jungle first aid kit pouch, one M1923 M1 Garand belt, that's this one, and one fluton military angle head flashlight, black, one bulletproof vest, and the web belt and the pouches, everything was either dyed black or navy blue. You can get all of those items that I just listed at antique stores, gun shows, military surplus shops, or World War II reenacting websites. I would recommend you get them from reenacting websites. They'll be khaki, just like original, and you could just dye them blue yourself. It'll be a lot cheaper. As for guns, the AP-74 22 long rifle, that's this. Of course, in the movie it functioned like an M16. I would recommend, if you're in a country that doesn't allow you to own firearms, or a state, or maybe you're not old enough, then I'd recommend a Well M16 A1, which is an airsoft gun. Very, very cheap, about $40, and looks close enough. As for sidearms, the majority of the SWAT officers carried the Arminius HW5T Revolver 22 long rifle. And that goes, or that's everything, or the majority that they carried. The negotiating officer, Peter, and as well as Tom Savini, or Chocolate Man, as he's become known by, did carry the 1911. This is my 1911 A1. This is a Remington Rand manufactured one. When I bought it, I was told that the serial number dates it back to 1943, and you can see the original United States property stamp there. They carried that with this shoulder holster. Some SWAT officers carried the shoulder holster with their revolver. Also, later on, Roger did carry his green bag, which, as some of you may know, eventually led him to get bit. I can't find the original green bag that he carried. However, here's a very nice substitute, which looks very, very close. This is the US M9A1 gas mask bag. If you can find one with the printing worn away, it would look very, very close. Or an even cheaper alternative would be the US M17 gas mask bag, which again looks close. So overall, that is everything that the SWAT officers, actors wore in the movie. As far as I know, this is the most accurate representation of what they had. The holsters for the revolvers were a little bit different than the Air Force ones, but they look almost identical. Everything else is exactly how they would have worn it in the movie. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned something new. In the link in the description below, I'm going to post where you can get the coveralls, the boots, and the hat, and then as well as a list of everything that I am wearing and that they wore. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you other Dawn of the Dead fans find this useful. And as for my normal subscribers, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. You guys know that I'm a little bit of a movie nerd sometimes, and well, here's me proving it. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, have a nice day.